briefly overview of what my classroom looks like. And just to start off, I am a high school math teacher, so this is going to be a high school classroom that you see. Just to start off, it's not very fancy. So I know most classroom tours have like this fancy stuff. They have flexible seating, all of that kind of stuff. No, that's not going to happen. Just because I do work in public schools, and flexible seating as of now just wouldn't work for me. But this is like a normal high school classroom, so everything in here you would probably see in your classroom or some type of high school math class. So it's not very fancy, but it works for me. And just to let you know, I teach Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, and I also teach fundamentals of math. So everything I have is centered around that. I don't teach geometry, I don't teach stats, I don't do any of that stuff. I'm just basically an algebra teacher. So I'm just going to show you around my room. All right, hi, I'm gonna start my classroom tour at the front of my classroom. So right here is what you see, the door's right here. And right here is what you see at the front of my classroom. I have the date, I have my classroom rules, and right there in those teal containers are actually where my kids turn in their work. And right there beside it is my graphing calculators, and I'm gonna actually come closer so I can show you everything. Right here are their warm-up folders. So I print out my warm-ups for the 9 weeks, and these are old. I don't know why he still has them in there. Oh, he keeps everything in there. All right, and this is where they keep their folders. So this is actually a review packet for the SOLs. So we're just going through these a little bit at a time, and that's their warm-ups, okay? So I have one for each class. Okay, so that's what they have. They have the rechargeable graphing calculators. And right here is how I actually lay out my board. Let me step back. So the first row is just what class it is. That has never changed since the first day of school, but I just keep Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Fundamentals of Math. And then right here I have what the students will be learning. So today they did factoring difference of squares, and then my Algebra 2 is doing normal curve. And right here is just my warm-up. Those two classes didn't have a warm-up, but that is just the page. That's not the page number. Those are actually the question numbers. So they're doing question 1 through 4 for their warm-up, and Algebra 2 would be similar, not tomorrow, because they're not gonna have a warm-up. They're gonna finish something. And right here I just put the agenda. Sometimes I put how long it's gonna take. So like for Algebra 2, we had a 50-minute block today. So they did their warm-up, we did notes on squares, we did a practice, and we was gonna get to flashcards, we didn't get there. And my Algebra 2 just did JLab, and they took a quiz. They actually didn't get to that quiz. They took forever to just do stupid stuff today. But yeah, so that's what I have. And then I have my whiteboard right here. We're reviewing once again for the SOL, so our state testing, and those are just shortcuts on the calculator. All right, so I have my whiteboard. This is where I have my announcements and my classwork. This is where my absent work goes. So you can see I have a calendar. I have the directions how to get the absent work all out of the bins. So what I do is I have it for Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and my Fundamentals of Math class. And what I do is actually have 31 folders in here. And so if they miss work on the first, the work is in the first folder. They miss it on the third, it's in the third folder, and so on and so forth. So that's what I have. This is where I sit. This is my trash can, my chair, my dot cam. And if I look out, these are how my desks are. I change my desk change my tables every 9 weeks. And this is what I have right now. All right, I'm just gonna show you a few of the decorations. I have the door to the outside. I have a little bit of this. This is my dumb board. I have some lights up there. And then I have my tables. This is where I have some anchor charts at. That's just data for my school. Right? Data charts, prime numbers, because you'll be surprised how many kids don't even know the first 5 prime numbers. That's my desk back there. I have a leather lady I share a classroom with, so that's her stuff. And then these are just my tables. None of those file cabinets have my stuff, and then my stuff is on top. I have order operations, and my smartboard has more anchor charts on there, so that's what I have right there. And I'm gonna go to the back and kind of show you some of the stuff I have. This is empty. This used to have stuff on there. This is where more anchor charts are gonna go, because we're reviewing for state testing, so it's gonna be intense. So I just have my schedule back here, and right here is where I have clipboards. Oh my goodness, I got these from the Dollar Tree. This is some of the best stuff that I've done lately, you know, that I have bought for my classroom this year. And I'm just gonna go ahead and show you some of the stuff I have for my classroom, show you a few of my anchor charts, because I know I love to see other people's anchor charts. I'm just gonna get a few more down so I can show you. Some of them are big, some are small. Those aren't laminated. These need to be laminated. So I have some shortcuts for Graphing equations given 2 points. What slope-intercept form, because I teach Algebra 1 in high school. And honestly, if your kids struggle with all those formulas, the only formula they know for graphing a line is slope-intercept form. Everything gets changed in slope-intercept form. They don't even know point-slope form or standard form exists. All right, so I tell them how to find x and y intercepts. They solve for y, they graph it, and that's how they find it. Slope, I do not have them remember the slope formula. Why? Because that's too much stuff for them to remember. All they do is graph it, rise over run. All right, and then I just have these was actually made for my Algebra 2 class. So that's exponent rules, graph an equation given a point and a slope. So they plot the points, use the points to create more points, and write an equation. All right. If your kids definitely struggle with all those equations, just don't give it to them. Definitely with Algebra 1, you can just graph everything, and it'll be fine. So I have some inequality stuff. This was Algebra 2 stuff, transformations. Associative property, that's all math classes. Yeah, so this is more exponent rules. This is definitely Algebra 1. Algebra 1 stuff, we're going to actually need that tomorrow, so I'm going to hang that up. We'll go on some review. This is Algebra 2, because I actually don't teach Algebra 1 and exponent rules like that. I have sequence and series. This is Algebra 2 as well. Commutative property, all math classes. This is the complex. This is never complex. This is the number system, so they have to know Algebra 2. Rational, complex numbers, imaginary numbers. They got to know that for Algebra 2. This is Algebra 1 because this is the most common mistake I see in the world, which is crazy. They'll have a negative 2x plus a 2x, and they'll get scared because they know it's going to be a 0, so they just put a 1. And that's so wrong. But yeah, that's a common mistake I see, so I'm going to put that aside because we're reviewing that tomorrow. All right? This is just how to do fractions, just showing y'all a bit of stuff that I see in my classroom. And this stuff get hung and took down, all kind of stuff. All right, so this is proportions. So this is also a good idea how I teach stuff. Proportions are right here. Distributive property right here. This is Algebra 2. Rational equations, rational functions, Algebra 2. So this is what they have for that. Domain and range with the index card. So that's just the directions of how to do that. And yeah. So just a quick little overview of my classroom from the back. Yeah, thank you.